Greetings, Culture Warriors. It's Jeff Vieira, author of Culture is Everything, and your host for this latest dispatch from the front. Today's story from CBS News: ex-Bumblebee CEO going to prison for fixing tuna prices. The former CEO of Bumblebee Foods has been sentenced to more than 3 years in jail for his role in a canned tuna price-fixing conspiracy involving 3 major companies, the U.S. Justice Department said. Christopher Leshewski was also ordered Tuesday to pay a $100,000 fine in addition to serving a 40-month term. Assistant Attorney General Mankin Delrahim said in a statement that the sentence will serve as a deterrent to wrongdoing at top corporate levels. Executives who cheat American consumers out of benefits of competition will be brought to justice, particularly when their antitrust crimes affect the most basic necessity, food, Delrahim said. A federal grand jury in San Francisco indicted Leshewski in May 2018. He pleaded not guilty, but late last year a jury convicted him of a single count of participating in a conspiracy to fix prices of canned tuna. The Justice Department said the court found that the 3-year conspiracy affected hundreds of millions of dollars in canned tuna sales. Bumblebee pleaded guilty and was sentenced to pay a $25 million fine. Starkist was fined $100 million. 3 executives who were charged along with Leshewski pleaded guilty and testified at his trial. The scheme came to light after the failure of an attempt by the Thai union group's Chicken of the Sea to buy San Diego-based Bumblebee in 2015, according to court records. Chicken of the Sea executives then alerted federal investigators who agreed to shield the company from criminal prosecution in exchange for cooperation. The Justice Department said its San Francisco Antitrust Division and the FBI are continuing to investigate the packaged seafood industry and are seeking any information on anti-competitive conduct, including price fixing and bid rigging. Okay, so Big Tuna, 3 companies implicated in a price fixing scheme. What are price fixing schemes? It's when you, rather than compete with your competitors, you collude with your competitors to artificially inflate the price, thereby improving the economic situation for the companies involved in the collusion. Of course, these are not the only companies who make tuna, but they've got a significant portion of the market share, so they can definitely move the market the way that they like. Now, does that mean that another company couldn't undercut their price and gain some market share that way? Sure it does, but practically, could they gain enough market share that it would make a big difference? Probably not. So the problem with price fixing, of course, is that it winds up sticking it to the consumers. Now, in the long term, economically, what good does it do you? You can fix the price on tuna for a time, but what's going to happen is the consumers are going to find an alternative product, such as canned chicken. You'll drive down your tuna sales because people are not willing to buy tuna at the inflated price at the same level of demand. So in the big scheme of things, it may help you out short term in your company, but it's unlikely to be something that's sustainable over the long haul. What drove this behavior? Well, probably a large part of it was the fact that with the pandemic, restaurants were down, and that's a major customer for these tuna companies. You know, they get big cans of tuna in the restaurants for making tuna salad sandwiches and that sort of thing, and that all dried up. Undoubtedly, tuna is a fairly labor-intensive process, and so undoubtedly costs went up along with the demand dropping from the restaurants because of the measures that need to be taken, socially distancing and so forth, in the canneries associated with producing this canned tuna. So costs go up, demand goes down, puts economic pressure on the companies, and then they start, to feel it and decide for short-term illegal remedies to their process. Now, I don't know on the timing of this if that all pans out, but certainly you can see how there are a number of companies who are under increased pressure today to do this. And so it wouldn't be surprising if you start to see some of those companies in the pandemic being exposed for having engaged in such collusion and such price fixing practices. Now, obviously, you won't find in the values of these companies an item that says fixed prices, that says cheat, that says collude with your competitors. You probably will find something along the lines of integrity or honesty, and that's clearly a value that they did not keep up with in this case. Beyond that, you can see that the book was basically thrown at one of the CEOs because the others all decided to turn state's evidence against him. So he didn't take the deal, or he didn't agree to plead guilty, and so he's basically getting the book thrown at him with a 40-month sentence. The bigger thing for most of these CEOs is that often the penalty will include their not being able to run a company again, and that's the real big impact. Sure, 40 months in prison is no small thing. Probably with time off for good behavior and everything, he might serve half of that. But when you look at the fact that he'll have a felony conviction and he'll probably be banned from holding any officer role in any publicly traded company in the future, he's essentially done. Now, I don't know how much of a nest egg he's managed to accrue. He's probably got plenty of it, but legal fees, fines, that sort of thing will undoubtedly cut into that pretty deeply. And I'm not recommending we shed any tears for him or the other two bozos who were involved in this behavior. Dishonest behavior is dishonest behavior, and colluding against your customers is particularly dishonest. Our whole system is built on free competition. Those who refuse to compete and use their power in the marketplace to reduce competition are particularly odious individuals in my eyes. So this is another good reason why having a commitment to integrity at the top is extremely important. There are temptations in every business, in down cycles, to do things that you're not supposed to do. And you need people at the top who will resist that temptation. Have a great day.